Folks, I'm here to address the rumors and the speculation surrounding my channel and where I've been at. It's getting out of hand. I got to address it. You know, it's kind of crazy because I don't think to go back and read comments on old videos. I just don't. But apparently, on my most recent few videos I did a long time ago, those comment sections have devolved into madness. And I get it. You don't post for something like 5 months, people have questions. But some of the assumptions are wild. Now, what is true is that I am alive and well. I'm actually doing really good. Here's the thing, guys. I have been getting emails, messages, people have been reaching out with these same questions. Am I all right? Am I planning on posting again? I need to do an update video. And there's probably people watching that I responded to and told them I have a video coming, and some of these were 4 months ago. So I mean it when I say that I have planned like every week for the last 3 months to put out a video, and I just couldn't make it happen. And I know that sounds crazy, but I just simply couldn't make it happen, which is wild. And I feel like I need to explain that to you guys. Maybe you'll understand, and maybe we can just clear the air a little bit. For a little context, I started YouTube in 2017, and ever since I started, it has been a consistent part of my life. Filming, editing, multiple times a week, all encompassing really for close to 8 years. Towards the end of 2019, I moved down to Houston, Texas. The idea was to come down here where there was a lot of other influencers and really just put myself in an uncomfortable position. That way I was able to just grow and see new things, right? Well, shortly after I moved down here, guess what year it was? 2020. There were lockdowns. Basically, all these places I wanted to go, people I wanted to link with, I couldn't. I was now stuck inside my house. And at the time, I was a vlogger. I didn't do recipes. I didn't do anything like that. And I was really terrified of what the future looked like. I had just moved. I had less money in the bank than I'd had in a very long time. I had less money coming in, far less. And I literally had no one to hang out with. Like, literally no one. I didn't know anybody. I couldn't go anywhere and meet people. There weren't any gyms open. It was a pretty depressing time. I ended up drowning my sorrows most nights with lots of vodka. And I ended up getting in, for me, really bad shape. Not just physically, but mentally. I was in a rough spot. I remember waking up and saying that something had to change, no matter what. Something had to change. I wasn't gonna live in this rut. I was gonna figure it out. I started dieting. I told myself I wasn't gonna do the same old thing I'd always been doing, the chicken, rice, and broccoli thing. I was literally just gonna track macros and eat what I wanted. And all that time inside and only shooting that type of content led me to just be in this creative space where I was so excited that I was eating pizza and I was like making these things. And not only were they amazing, but I was leaning out. I was like, I looked great. I felt great. It felt like I had discovered a secret that I couldn't believe it was me that stumbled upon, right? And at that point, my channel went crazy. That was the single craziest growth spurt and viewership, everything my channel had ever had. And that basically built the channel as it was today. As you guys see, the recipes, the cookbook, all that stuff, right? That period of time literally changed my life. In 2021, there was another thing that changed my life, and that was when we launched Annabar, the protein-packed candy bar. Although back then we didn't have it branded quite like that. But what initially started as what I thought we'd have a bar and it would just join our line of supplements we had at the time, you know, protein powders, greens, aminos, things like that. And I just assumed we would sell, you know, some boxes every week and it would just kind of add to the overall business. Little did I expect for it to blow up in the way it has. Literally, month after month, year over year, we kept growing and growing and growing until eventually it kind of grew out of control. What started as us just having a website where we would do launches and we would sell out and we'd restock, and we had one basically sales channel turned into now we're in GNC, now we're in Vitamin Shop, now we're being scouted by other big box companies. We got to do presentations, we got to do all this stuff. And although this was happening like as time went on, the reality of it all didn't hit me until the end of last year. We were at a point where the same way we were doing things in the beginning, we 100x'd our revenue and we were still doing things the exact same way. And that'll work for a while until you reach that breaking point, and it doesn't. And I'm gonna give you guys an analogy and some of you might relate to it. All right, we can use a car or a house as an example. Everything seems fine, right? Everything seems good, but one little thing goes wrong and you start looking at that, and paying attention to that one thing makes you realize, oh my God, there's all these other things wrong. That was basically what was going on with Anabar. So I made my mind up at the beginning of the year that I was going to dive into this, and I was going to fix this stuff, and I was going to get everything not only on the right track, but better than ever. And fast forward all the way to September, and mission accomplished. Everything is so much better, radically turned around. We plugged all the holes. We got basically everything fixed, and we are essentially in so much of a better spot than we were at the end of last year that it's really hard to quantify. And I think when I set out to start this, I underestimated just how much of me it would require. If you head over to our Instagram, for instance, at Anabar Official, I don't post on my social media because I'm creating and shooting all of the content for our social media. If you go to our website, theanabar.com, I built that thing from the ground up and I had to teach myself how to do it, how to create every single asset on there. We are now on TikTok Shop. I had to get on there and set everything up, create every image, build the store out, submit all the paperwork. I had to restructure our warehouse. I had to hire new people. I had to train them. I had to implement new processes. I have taken on packaging design now. We have influencer boxes that need designed. We have backdrops for expos. I create the sales sheets, the promos, the flyers, the marketing materials. I create all of that. What I've basically discovered is that I was kind of looking for this point where everything was good, right? Almost like a finish line. And I realized that in order for this to get where I want it to go, that finish line realistically doesn't exist, or it can't exist, or I'm gonna just stress myself out. And I know that right before I quit posting, I told you guys that no matter what happened, I wasn't gonna stop posting. And at the time, I truly meant that. In me underestimating everything I was doing, I kept breaking promises to people, right? Anthony, my editor, I would tell him, all right, I'm gonna have this video done on this day. I continuously just couldn't meet deadlines because other things were popping up. And the amount that I've had to buckle down and just learn to be able to do this effectively. There's just been like so much to learn that I feel like with me, I'm kind of a perfectionist, right? I don't wanna just half-ass something to get it done. I wanna do it the right way. And in doing so, the times I tried to make a video, they came off to me like they were just rushed and forced out. Towards the end when I was putting out videos, I felt like I couldn't execute how I wanted because there was so much other stuff to do. And I think what I ended up realizing was that when you end up splitting your time amongst multiple things, you end up doing all of them about half as good as you would have if you just focused on it. So I realized when I looked around that I needed to focus on Annabar, because at the end of the day, it's not just me, right, that rides with Annabar. It's my best friend, it's his family, it's our employees. Everybody's depending on this business to do good. And if something were to happen and I let this opportunity slip through my fingers, I'm not sure what would be more upsetting to me. Not appreciating something so great and seeing it through to the end, or letting all my people down. But what I will say though about this year as a whole is that it has been the single greatest year for personal growth for me ever. There were points in this when, I'm giving my word that I'm gonna handle this, I got it. And I would sit there and I would put all this effort in and work, and things just weren't clicking and I couldn't get it done. And there were some rough times when I'm literally just sitting there thinking, am I who I think I am? Am I a fraud? I've talked this big game and I can't deliver. Am I living a lie, right? There were periods when it got really dark, when I felt like I couldn't do anything right and I wasn't sleeping. I was staying up late trying to hit deadlines, and I just it was tough, genuinely tough. But what I will say though is that pushing through all of that and getting here now, I couldn't be more happy. I think I've realized that as much as it is nice being comfy and cozy and kind of doing the same things on repeat, I am at my best when I'm pushing myself, challenging myself, and learning new things. I feel like it's made me more appreciative of people that do this type of work. But B, it's made me realize that it's not always gonna be easy, but if you put focused effort and discipline into something, you really can do anything. And I say all of that to say this: there is still a ton of stuff to do to level Annabar up. I wanna be the greatest protein bar company that has ever existed. That is my number one mission. I eat, sleep, drink, daydream, live, breathe that goal. This is all encompassing. But on the flip side of that, I've realized how important it is having this in my life, this YouTube thing. I didn't realize how much I need this, right? I was chatting with Asil Suede the other day. He was over here and he said something that clicked. I was basically just complaining about my workload. He was asking about YouTube and I'm like, dude, I just can't find the time. And he put his hand on my shoulder and he says, you know what? My dad always told me this. He said, no matter what it is that you do, whether it's your business with Broats or just your coaching, anything you do, he's like, never stop doing YouTube because that's where your bread was buttered. That's what you came up doing. That's how you built everything. You got to keep doing it. And I don't know why that specific thing hit me, but it did. So here we are. And as far as what an upload schedule realistically looks like, you know, I think in a perfect world, 1 video a week would be great. I don't want to make any promises. Things do come up, but that'd be good because I legitimately enjoy doing this. I don't need YouTube anymore as an income source. So for me, it's more of a passion project. I think as long as I go into these videos, genuinely doing it because I love it and I don't overthink it, and I just have fun and we get to hang out, I think that really that's all that matters. So for those of you that reached out, that were genuinely concerned, thank you, and I do apologize. Truly, I wanted to get on here, but as crazy as it may sound, it wasn't easy. I am really good. I feel like I just graduated 4 years of college with the skill sets I've acquired, and things with Annabar are straightened out. We're doing fantastic, and I'm really excited for the future, genuinely. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. I would not be here. I wouldn't have Annabar. I wouldn't be able to do any of this if you guys hadn't started watching and continued to watch and supported me all these years. That reality is never ever lost on me, ever. So I really hope that this video gave some of y'all some peace and cleared things up. And I guess what I will say is stay tuned to the channel because I will have something coming very soon. You do have my word on that. So appreciate you guys as always. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I will see each and every one of you at the next video. See you guys. Boom, baby. We gone.